Okay, so take us through last week's race. This is pretty fresh, and you had a 54-minute swim, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's incredibly important to me as a professional is that I continue to improve. Not necessarily the number of races that I win, but that I feel that I'm progressing, that I'm improving each year. So the first year in 2007, I came out in 58. Last year
56.
Thanks, Bob. I came out in 56 last year. This year, yeah, 54, and the conditions were pretty similar each year. So I was incredibly happy with that. What made the difference for me was that I really fought incredibly hard, not only at the start, but also during the swim, to keep on the feet of the people in front of me. And ordinarily, maybe I would have let those people go, or maybe they're thinking that they were a bit too fast. But I thought, no, fight, and that was what was going through my head all the time. So I really made a conscious effort throughout the swim to work incredibly hard. And I'm glad that all the effort I've put into improving my swim actually paid dividends and showed in the time. And that swim also set me up for a good bike, and also meant that I was ahead of a lot of my strongest, right. I think the strongest competitors. So they didn't actually know where I was, right. And that makes it easier mentally, I think, for me.
You like being off the front?
Yeah, I do. I do like. I like racing as hard as I can, and I don't ever want to sit in a pack or go at someone else's pace. Right. So that generally means that, yeah, I'll head to the front as quickly
absolutely.
as I can.
And 4:52 bike, which was not too bad. 4:52, kicking some big time butt in the bike. And then you get in the run. It was not. I mean, compare conditions from the 3 years you did it. This was there was pretty steady headwind on the way back in from Kauai High, it seemed.
Yeah, going out on the bike, there's a little bit of a wind, but nothing too strong. Up to Harvey, again, there was a headwind, but it wasn't as strong as it was the previous year. And then coming back, I thought that we had a tailwind because we had a slight headwind going out, but no. Someone switched the wind direction, so the last 30 miles were into a pretty tough headwind, which is, of course, at the end of an Ironman is incredibly difficult, but suits me because I like to grind a big gear, so I just powered into it like I'd power up a hill almost. Right. So I think that relative to the other girls, that's where I made some gains. But I think definitely that headwind on the last stretch took a lot out of me and took a lot out of the other competitors too.
Now your run was a little over 3 hours, and when you look at, it's good that you had a nice lead because Mirinda Carfrey had just a phenomenal run. I think she had like the 6th or 7th fastest run of the day, men and women, 2:56, something like that. Yeah, she was phenomenal.
She's a phenomenal athlete. She lives up in Boulder for part of the year, and I've known Mirinda for a number of years, and I know just how strong she is. And Brett actually said to me a few years ago, watch out for Mirinda. She'll be, she's one to watch. And then she proved that by winning Clearwater that year, and now has come up and proved herself again at the Ironman distance. When I came off the bike, I think one of the first things I asked someone was, "Where's Mirinda?" How far back is Mirinda? Because I knew that she's an incredibly strong runner, incredibly talented, and I knew that she'd be able to eat away at my lead. I went through the half in 125, and I faded. I did 3:03, so I really did fade in the latter stages.
125. That's not bad. Well, actually, you averaged. You basically for the marathon, you averaged 6:59. That's not bad. And she went 23.01 miles per hour for 112 miles. Yeah.
But it also, I mean, the fact that Rinny Marinda broke my run record from last year, and that's really exciting because these records are there to be broken, and she's raising the bar for us all again. So although I won the race, you know, the run records come down for women yet again to 2:56, and I don't think a few years ago people would ever imagine that the race would, you know, be won in 2:56 for the women. So I think that's great, and it shows how strong the female field is.
Right, and it's interesting too in terms of domination. 18 minutes separated the top 15 men on Saturday. And it was over an hour between you and the 15th woman. So you've gapped yourself a little bit on the top one. You had over 18 minutes at the end of the race. There's only a few people who've won 3 Ironman World Championships in a row. You're talking Mark Allen, Dave Scott, Paula Newby-Fraser, Natasha Bodman, and Chrissie Wellington. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. When you talk about some pretty select company to be cruising around with.
Yeah, to have my name listed amongst those legends and greats of the sport is very humbling, and I feel a lot of pride and very privileged to be listed amongst those. But I think Dave Scott is going to have to buy me a beer now.
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Now you worked with Dave a little bit this year, didn't you? I know he worked a little bit with Craig and with you on like some core work.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to work with Dave in Boulder, particularly on my swim, and I give him a lot of, he and his sister Jane Scott, a lot of credit for the improvement in my swimming. He and Jane lead a masters group up there, so I was part of that group, and Dave also identified the need for me to really do some strength work, some targeted strength work on my glutes and my hamstrings. So this year I have focused on that as well. So yeah, no, I worked closely with Dave on those, particularly those two.
So as Huddle would ask, what can you bench now? I've
never actually benched, but maybe when I go back to the gym, I'll just have a go, just so I can.
So you have a number for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this last winter, a friend of yours got married in Argentina. I think it was in Argentina. Yeah, a friend got married in Argentina, and there's a climbing friend, right? Climbing friend from Kathmandu, and you guys, I guess it's tradition. You guys all went on the honeymoon together, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So tell these guys a little bit about how these people spent their honeymoon. Not quite traditional.
Yeah, Tina, my Argentinian friend, got married, and we gate crashed the honeymoon, myself and Billy, and another couple of friends from Nepal. So most people go and on their honeymoon, they lie on a beach or stay in a tropical island like Hawaii. We all got mountain bikes, loaded them up with about 30 kilograms of stuff, tents and et cetera, and crossed a path that had never, or a mountain pass over the Andes that had never been biked before.
This is vacation, guys.
Yeah, I had never been biked for a reason. It was